Hello and welcome to this stream. Thank you so much for everyone who tunes in. I have got the wrong thing up, so please bear with me while I just change the scoreboard. Where is it? I saved it under scorecard. There we are. So thanks so much for everyone who is joining me so far. I really do appreciate it. Today we're going to be looking at Rangers and Celtic. Major, thanks so much for tuning in. Big day for you. You certainly don't want to see Rangers win have an unbeaten season, be an invincible season. Certainly don't want that to happen. That's what makes this game intriguing, even though Rangers have already won the title. Jay, thanks so much for tuning in as well. I really do appreciate it. I'm hoping to do 2 streams today, this one and the Newcastle game as well. My girlfriend said that she wants a roast dinner, so I peeled the potatoes ready so she can get going with it. How are you? I'm doing okay, thank you, Major. How are you? And good morning as well, Jay, to you. So the lineups are as follows. McGregor is in goal for Rangers. Tavernier, Goldson, Simpson, Barisic, Aribo, Davis, Kamara, Roofe, Morelos and Kent. 2-1 Celtic, so you're going for Celtic to beat Rangers. That's interesting. I think it will be a Rangers win. Bein is in goal for Celtic. Kenny, Welsh, Ayer, Taylor, Brown, McGregor, Forrest, Turnbull, Elwanusi and Edouard is the team for Celtic. There's a few players on the bench who could change things for Rangers if they needed to, such as Defoe and Hadji. Players who could turn it on its head for Celtic. They seem to have more substitutes. Players like Ryan Christie and Lee Griffiths are on the bench, as well as that bloke from AC Milan, which I thought was a crazy signing. Didn't expect Celtic to loan someone from AC Milan, but there you are. Crazy is the modern football world. So a few players. Julian is injured for Celtic, so he won't be involved today, and he's not on the bench either. And then there's several injuries for Rangers, including Ryan Jacko, I think is out for the rest of the season, and Balogun is also injured amongst others as well. This game is kicking off at 12 p.m. There are some other games across Europe taking place at 12 p.m. or earlier. I did see one in France, which is Bordeaux versus Rennes, and there is also a game in Italy, or it's already kicked off, between Lazio and Genoa. So both of those we will be keeping an eye on, half an eye on really, because I don't really watch those leagues, so I won't be keeping too much of an eye on it. But yeah, and there's also some games taking place in Holland as well. The Netherlands, Den Haag are beating Feyenoord currently 2-1. Penalty scored there. So get your predictions in if you haven't already. Major's already got his prediction in. It's weird to be live so early. I haven't been live this early since before I stopped streaming, so it would have been like December, which is kind of crazy. What do you think this Man United Liverpool score will be? I think United will win about 2-1. It's hard because both teams have so much riding on it. Man United don't want to hand City the title and give them, obviously they're going to win the title regardless, but they don't want to be the reason they won the title, if you know what I mean, because that happened a few years ago when they lost to West Brom unexpectedly. However, Liverpool will want to win because they want to keep up with Leicester and Chelsea, particularly Leicester. I think Chelsea will be fine. Leicester are the team that I could see drop out of the top 4, but if they were to lose, they would be 9 points behind Leicester and 7 behind Chelsea, so it would be very tough. Charlie McNeil, I think I was tuning Charlie. 3-0 Rangers. I wonder who you support. So 3-0 Rangers. I've gone 2-1, did I say, or 2-0 Rangers? I think I'm going to go 2-0 Rangers. I think Rangers will get the victory. McNeil might go to Aston Villa. What makes you think that? Seems like a sideways move, doesn't it? I suppose he'd probably playing better football under Dean Smith, but I think that would be quite a sideways move. Alright, I think it'd be okay. 10-0 Rangers. I don't think it'll be 10-0. So they have played each other several times this season, Rangers won the last game in the Scottish Cup 2-0. In the Premiership, it's been 1-1, 1-0 Rangers, 2-0 Rangers, and 2-1 Rangers in the last 5. The last time Celtic managed to win was the 8th of December 2019, so 18 months ago almost. So that is going to be disappointing. Meant 1-0. Alright, okay, that makes more sense. So it has been a while since Celtic have defeated Rangers in any competition, the Scottish Cup or the League, going back at that 18 months, which is quite a long time considering how dominant Celtic have been as of late. But there will be no 10 in a row for Celtic, as Rangers under Steven Gerrard have wrapped up the title and will be Scottish Premiership champions and will be in the Champions League next year. Nick Pope might be leaving. Nick Pope is a really, really good goalkeeper. Really good goalkeeper. And I think he would be able to play higher. Daz's Football Stand. I think we're tuning in Daz. If you haven't checked out Daz's Football Stand's channel, he does a lot of watch-alongs like me as well. And he's a super nice person. And he was doing work experience last time I was chatting to him, which was many moons ago. Thank you very much for tuning in, Daz. I'm well. How are you? Thank you very much for joining the stream. I have not put on the border on Rangers, and that's going to irritate me, but I'm not going to change it. I'm going to change it. So there is Steven Gerrard, who said that Rangers would finish 6th in the Premier League the other day. I'm not sure if that is necessarily the case, but one thing that I feel like Premier League fans of English football sort of dismiss is the fact that there's so little money in the Scottish game compared to the English game. So Celtic and Rangers, if they were to go into the Premier League at any point, may struggle in the first couple of seasons, but after that they would have a bit more financial backing and power to be able to be further up the table for sure. I'm not sure about 6th, but I think they'd be okay. I'm fine, that's good. Trying to get some part-time work in retail, but struggling due to lack of experience. Got to start somewhere, I suppose. I'm still doing my work on the radio work as well. Brilliant, Dazza. I'm really pleased. I started my work at Tesco, and then I have just joined Curry's. So what I would say is, particularly if you ever apply for any tech jobs like Apple or Curry's or something, talk about your channel. That makes you interesting. It makes you stand out that you have a YouTube channel, because if you interview 10 people, you're probably going to be the only one that has a YouTube channel. So that makes you stand out, definitely. So if you ever get an interview, talk about what you do and why you want to work in a certain area. Try and link it back. I think that'd be really good. Scottish football lack of money. Yeah, definitely a lack of money. That's just how it is, unfortunately, because the Premier League are by far and away, and it's not a fair comparison. But one thing that I would say is they seem to hold their own most of the time in Europe. And they drew with City, Celtic, didn't they? The first year Pep Guardiola was there. And obviously Celtic have beaten Barcelona and Manchester United over the years, so they can definitely hold their own. Scottish football lack of money. I think Rangers and Celtic would be mid-Premier League teams if they joined now. Well, I think it just depends on a lot of factors. Celtic have been very poor this season, so I think they would be further down than Rangers. But if you look at the players, not many of them would get into the higher echelons of the Premier League, but I think a lot of them would get into Premier League sides, like Kent, Morelos probably would, Roofe perhaps, and Goldson I've always really highly rated ever since I saw him at Shrewsbury. And then you look at a similar sort of situation, McGregor, Elwanusi's played in the Premier League, Forrest I think potentially could play in the Premier League, Edouard as well, so it's not like there are certainly factors, a lot of players who could play in the Premier League, but it's one of those things that will probably never happen. Both would be Championship at best. No, I totally disagree. Particularly with the money. I think that's the aspect. They wouldn't have this side if they had 100 million for finishing first, like we have 100 million for finishing 20th in the Premier League. They would have a far, far, far better squad. And it's just a case of catching up, and they'll never be able to catch up, I don't think, in Scotland. But I'm not a big fan of the idea of them coming down. I think it would make the Scottish League a little bit more competitive, but it would also take a lot of eyes away. So I'm not sure how I'd feel about it. Rangers 1-0. I kind of think I was tuning in for later game. 2-1 Liverpool. Have to back my boys. Interesting. I've gone for a 2-0. 2-1 United win. I think United will beat Liverpool, and I think that could be a very big nail in the coffin of Champions League hopes. Callum, every little helps. Yeah, every little did help, but it didn't help me at all. I'm glad I've left Tesco. United will beat Scousers. Glory Man United. Yeah, so I think too, except from the Glory Man United bit. Celtic rubbish this season due to poor management. Yeah, I've never been a big fan of Neil Lennon. Obviously, from the outside looking in, I'm by no means a Celtic nor Rangers supporter, as you can probably tell from my voice. But Brendan Rodgers is a very, very, very good manager. Very good. He's better than Ronnie Dyler. He's better than Neil Lennon. He's better than a lot of people who have come before him. And to lose him, you were always going to see a decline, I think. I'm not a big fan of Neil Lennon. However, I did see a video of Neil Lennon looking very worse for wear. I think would be a good term to say. Worse for wear, but he did seem bitter when I saw him on Sky Sports News the other day, which is nice to see, because I was very concerned of him. Just waiting for the game to kick off. And we are underway. I'm going to turn the music down slightly. So we are underway. 13 seconds gone in the Old Firm derby. Thank you so much for everyone who has tuned in so far. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers, as we have been for about the last 18 months. Just say, I'm pretty sure last time a team aren't Rangers or Celtic was the 1980s. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Sir Alex Ferguson's Aberdeen side, I believe, which he went to. When did he go to Man United? He was manager in 1990, wasn't he? So he'd been in the 80s. Yeah, you are right. Just say, what if the Premier League, Super League did happen? Who do you think would have came first? It's a real difficult to say. You know, you'd expect the Barcelona to be sort of higher up, but you'd expect it to be Bayern Munich, probably PSG, Real Madrid, City to be the teams that would be highest. But because they're playing these big games, it would be difficult to say. But you'd know Arsenal would finish bottom. Team that won the Premier League. Premiership. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Aberdeen. I mean, which is great. It would be great to see, because Aberdeen did pretty well a few years ago, didn't they? Under can picture him, Derek McGuinness. Is that his name? And they look pretty good, because they had some pretty good players. And when I used to watch it a fair bit when it was on BT Sport, and I quite liked Aberdeen, but they have fallen down. I think McGuinness is gone. Jeff, thanks so much for tuning in. How you doing? Poor Arsenal. Arsenal are just terrible. I'm going to watch them later though, so I'm not going to say anything too harsh, because I can leave it for the other game. Rangers have conceded a free kick. He is McGregor. Quite like McGregor. I believe they're saying that McGregor is going to be captain next season, because Scott Brown is leaving. Where is Scott Brown going? Is he going to Aberdeen as a coach? Did I read? I'm obviously not. I don't watch too much Scottish football, but I feel like I was quite disappointed when Sky Sports bought the exclusive rights to the Premiership, because I felt like BT made quite a big deal of the Scottish Premiership, as it will always be second place to the Premier League, obviously, but it'll also be quite second place to the Football League, but they seem to make quite a big deal of it. They used to have that Scottish Football Extra with Chris Sutton and Ali McCoist and Daryl Curry. So now it doesn't seem such a big deal. I don't know. I don't know what anyone else thinks. Arsenal discussions for later. Yes, coach player. I thought so. I quite like the way he plays football. Elyounoussi tries to cut it back. It comes back to Elyounoussi. Tries to back heel and it's out for a corner kick. Good start for Celtic. Who are you supporting? I am supporting a good game. I want it to be a good game. Lazio have taken the lead against Genoa. And at half-time, Den Haag are beating Feyenoord. I mean, if Arsenal don't get Champions League or Europa League football, it's the worst they've had in forever. Yeah, it would be a really, really poor season. Will be Turnbull to take. Comes back to Turnbull. Looking for Brown. McGregor is fouled. I think that's very, very, very harsh. But it always is. That seems to be the way, doesn't it, with goalkeepers. You touch him, you barely touch him. That's definitely not a foul, but he does fall down, and that's that. Who are you supporting as well? I see Bayern Munich in your picture, which obviously aren't in this game. Aribo closes down and wins a throw-in. I think Celtic under Brendan Rodgers would have been in the sort of areas of Europe. I feel. Obviously, I didn't watch a great deal, but when they were good, I really do believe that. Support my legs because they support me. Clever, Jeff. Clever. Game later, how are you thinking it will go for Sheffield United? Lazio, my favourite Italian team, but I'm Burnley all the way. I don't have a favourite team anywhere else besides England. I don't know why. Unless there's a weird reason to like them. I remember one year if you are a big fan, you might know what I'm talking about of Serie A, but I think it was Crotone. They were really, really miles behind the pace. They were almost getting relegated. And then they went on this amazing run and survived. And I was really, really hoping for them to have a good end to the season. That's what they did. Ball comes in from the free kick for Rangers and Goldson can't get to it. No fans in the stadium as you would expect currently. Seems like Nicola Sturgeon is being very reserved with her opening of Scotland. I think they have the highest rate of infection in the country, Scotland, but obviously there's not as many people who live in England, which certainly makes the numbers go down. However, there is a lot of yellow in there as well. Our fans in ground. Nick, thank you so much for tuning in. Fans are not in the ground today. I don't think there's any plans for them to return in Scotland for a while. It would be nice to see full stadiums in every league across the country, England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, next season. I always felt like it would be next season, but I'm hoping for enough for the clubs to at least survive, however many that would be. And we know that there's low transmission when it comes to open air. We know there's low transmission when there's vaccinations, so there shouldn't be any reason why there shouldn't be at least sort of 50%, 75% or full capacity, I don't believe. But obviously, I'm not a scientist, so don't be like some bloke on YouTube told me that there'll definitely be, because I have no idea really. I'm just in the dark as you are. Aribo goes out wide. Here is Barsic? But Kent. One of Liverpool players, isn't he? He's a former Liverpool player. Did they have another one, or have I made it up? I thought they had someone else from Liverpool, but I could be wrong. Kent cuts it back and away by McGregor. I almost said Conor McGregor there. That's totally the wrong thing. No fans. Hi, Harry Michael. How are you doing? I think I was joining the stream. Kent Finds Aribo. Aribo's shot is blocked, and it will be a corner kick to Rangers. Thanks so much to everyone who's tuned in so far. If you haven't already, feel free to hit the like button. I would really, really appreciate it. And subscribe if you are new. Professional Pinman. I think that's Junior Pinman. How are you doing? I think that's joining the stream. Stephen Enzonzi has been sent off for Ren, which is twinned with the place I currently live, which I didn't know until recently. The ball comes in and headed over. I think that is Simpson. It's not the same about the fans, is it? I can't imagine what it would be like when fans come back in. So a question for everyone who's in the chat, right? And it can be, pretend like miles and stuff don't matter, right? What stadium in the world, once all the stadiums are back open, are you most looking forward to going to? Which one would you go to first, is the question. Would you go to one of these teams? Would you go to a Premier League side? Would you go to Spain, Italy, or a non-league team? Let me know. I would want to go to watch my local team, well, my old local team, Hereford. If I couldn't go and watch them, I would quite like to go and watch Tottenham Hotspur one day. So, because their stadium just looks magnificent. So I'd like to go and definitely see them. Chris, thanks so much for tuning in. Your counterpart, your name counterpart, is playing for Celtic. Blades, because I'm part of Fans FC. Yeah, I mean, so you all want to go to Signal in Duna Park. What makes you want to go to Dortmund Stadium? Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of people to go with their side. Or it would be nice to go to Wembley to watch like a final or something. Usain Bolt doesn't play football these days. So I don't see why Conor Gray play one day. Yeah, he didn't make much at Central Coast Mariners, did he? So we don't think he plays anymore. He was very, very, very fast, but not much else. At the end of the day, they wouldn't be. If I had all the attributes of Usain Bolt, I don't think I'd be getting a try at Central Coast Mariners. I really, really don't. I think it was just because it was a publicity stunt. Aribo wins the ball. Here is Ryan Kent. Out wide to Kamar Roofe. Best atmosphere in Germany. Very nice, very nice. He has a great last name. That's a good call. That is a good call. I want to go to Taverniers, ball in, Morelos, and they get it away. I'd want to go to, I'd probably want to go there one day. My girlfriend wants to visit lots of different countries, so maybe it'd be nice for me to have like football, and she'd definitely be up for that. I say that because if I wanted to go to Timbuktu to go and watch a football match, she'd be like, yeah, definitely. 1-0 Celtic, so you're going for the unbeaten streak of Rangers to be beaten. That's interesting. So currently, as things stand, including this game, 29 wins, 7 draws, including this one, 94 points on the board, 20 ahead of Celtic. If they were to win, they would go 23 points ahead of Celtic and would be well on the way to massing a 3-figure points total, which would be sublime. 2-1 Rangers. I think I've gone 2-0 Rangers. 1-0. It's got to go for a draw in this game. Jeff staying on the fence. Rangers missed a sitter. I'm not sure it was a sitter. Has anyone in Scotland had an unbeaten season in the league before? Yes, a few years ago Rangers did it under Brendan Rodgers. I think it's been done before that as well, but I'm not sure when. But definitely a few years ago under Rodgers. Carlisle got, I believe they lost out to Hearts on that unbeaten run in the end the following season. I believe it was like quite hammering. I think Lafferty played, he might have got one, and I think they lost 4-0. So yeah, they definitely did, and they lost to Rangers, not to Rangers, to Hearts, who are in the Championship this year, aren't they? But they have got promoted under Robbie Nielsen, I think, is in charge. Dick Advocate. He was manager of Rangers, wasn't he? I'm not sure. You're going back a little bit too far. I'll just look it up. Do you remember when Dick Advocate was in charge of he was in charge of Sunderland, wasn't he? Celtic completed a domestic 2016-17 season unbeaten in 47 League and Cup games, winning the treble, Scottish Premier League, Scottish Cup and Scottish League Cup under Brendan Rodgers. They obviously did lose in Europe. I would just have a look for the Scottish flag. So that happened in 2016-17. I can't see any more Scottish times it's happened. It's happened a lot. You'd be surprised at how many times it happened. The first of which was by Preston. Celtic and Rangers both did it in the late 1800s, so consecutively, which is quite strange. But past that, it was the first time it happened under Rodgers. Forrester's shot is blocked. They go out. Oh, he almost scores an own goal, and it will be a corner to Celtic. I couldn't see it on the list. I will double check. No, it's definitely not on here. But what I will do is I will find the season just to make sure it's not a glitch or whatever. Connor Goldson gets it away. So he said, I'll try this season. They finished first under Advocate. They lost 5 games that year. Lost 2 that year. 4 that year. Yeah, they didn't do it, no. They lost a few games. 1999. Got managers' autographs from Scottish teams. Anyone in particular? Any big names? Newport, Swansea, Cardiff in English leagues. When you think they should play in Welsh league, but it is what it is. I think, Chris, it's slightly different because the gulf between Swansea and Cardiff is so much compared to Bangor, to Aberystwyth, to Carmarthen. Do you know what I mean? There's a huge gulf between those sides. It's bigger, much bigger than what we see between Celtic and Rangers and the other side. Much bigger. You think about the attendances for those games, they usually get like 3,000, as those games in Wales get in the hundreds, usually. I think there's a slightly bigger gap. But I understand your point. Come on, girls. Hate the Spuds. Thank you much for tuning in. Stay unbeaten. I've got 2-1 bet on £5. It's my drinking money if I win for bank holiday. Hopefully you do it, my friend. Hopefully you do it. What is your chosen drink of choice? My favourite drink in the world is Pepsi. That's what I drink when I'm on stream. Not sponsored by Pepsi yet, but maybe in the future things might change. Technically, Carlisle should be a Scottish club because we're literally outside Scotland. Berwick Rangers. Berwick Rangers, is that the name? Or is it somewhere else? I think it's Rangers. They're in the Scottish League, aren't they? But they are actually based in England, but they find it easier to attract players from Scotland, so they're in the Scottish League. But I think they've been in both. I think Carlisle is a little bit too far south. Plus, I think Carlisle would rather be in the English League, but it is a bit of a nightmare to get to if you're like down here in the south or whatever. On the girls, Mia, thanks so much for tuning in. Or Maya, Mia, Maya. He signs it to Stevie G. Nice, that's good. Lazio 2-0. Yes, thanks so much for the update. Immobile with the goal, and Bordeaux have taken the lead against Rennes after Nzonzi was sent off and down to 10 men for a long time. He was sent off after 8 minutes. I didn't have like notifications. I just have the video printer up on my like streaming software, so that's why I'm not like on it as Meyer is the Dutch version of German Meyer. As in Max Meyer, who played for Schalke and Palace, and then he didn't do anything. Berwick is in Scotland, but Ground is in England. Right, okay, I must be getting confused. I thought the whole city was in, or town, or village, town was in England. Aidan Murphy, so much tuning in. How are you doing? Hi, Mike. Haven't seen your streams in a while. That's because I've literally started streaming again on Wednesday, and I've done one Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and today. So definitely back on it. And hopefully for the meantime, I've been really feeling quite sad about work, and I've been struggling to find the time, and I'm so glad I've come back to stream, and I really am enjoying it. I hope you're doing well. I've gone for a 2-0 win to Rangers in this one. Is it mathematically impossible for Juventus to win the title now? Yes, it is. They are now no chance at all that they can retain a 10th title in a row, and it does look like Inter Milan under Conte. Oh, Ryan Kent puts the ball wide. It looks like Juventus will... it will be Inter Milan rather to win the Scudetto. So yesterday, Crotone lost 2-0 to Inter Milan, with Eriksen scoring one of the goals, and now they are too far forward, and they might not even qualify for the Champions League because they are 5th in the table, joint points with Napoli, who have a slightly better goal difference, and then 2 points further we see Atalanta, Lazio just behind us 64. How bad would that be? What a capitulation that would be if they were to lose not only the title, but to lose the Champions League. That would be huge for Pirlo's in charge there, isn't he? I'm assuming you prefer Rangers as your English. Personally, I like Celtic because I'm Irish, but I don't hate Rangers. It's one of those things. It's very hard to bring up on stream because it's like a derby like no other. When I was younger, my uncle Alec, who was my granddad's friend, used to support Rangers, so I was Celtic rather. So I used to keep an eye on the Celtic scores. However, I don't have a. I just want to see good games. I don't have any sort of affiliation, if you will. Barisic's ball in, and it's a foul by Kamaru, and it will be a free kick to Celtic. 20 minutes in, it is still goalless at Ibrox. Never been to Scotland. Maybe one day. No, never been to Scotland. So any big games? I see in Ligue 1, Paris Saint-Germain won 2-1. Marquinhos and Neymar with the goals. However, Lille, who are top of the league, also won last night 2-0. So they are now top of the table still, with a point better off than Paris. That will go down to the wire. Monaco with a win, which I assume is today, against Lyon, would take them to 74 in the table and 2 points behind Lille. So it's all to play for in Ligue 1. The Bundesliga is not. They're not playing this weekend. I'm not sure if anyone knows why. But they're not playing this weekend. They are playing next weekend. Munich against Mönchengladbach, and could wrap up the title in that game, which I'm sure they will. Looks like Inter Milan will win the Scudetto in Italy, and the Spanish league La Liga is also quite up in the air. Sevilla with 70 with a game in hand over the top two. Barcelona at 71 with a game in hand over the top two. And then Real Madrid with 74 and Atletico Madrid with 76. So that's all to play for. Celtic not looking too good. Looking not too good. No, it's been... Rangers have had probably the better of the chance so far. I definitely agree. The Pokal final is between RB Leipzig and Dortmund. So the whole... Sorry if you can hear Alf barking asleep. So they don't have a game at all for... Despite... Just for the final. Here's Turnbull's ball in, straight to McGregor, who picks it up with confidence. Have you ever heard of any of League of Ireland's clubs or ever watched one of them play? Yeah, I remember watching Shamrock Rovers when they played Spurs in the Europa League. I've also watched Dundalk a few times as well, but I've never, obviously not live, just on the TV. Cork City as well. One of my favourite YouTubers is from Cork. I probably have heard of most of them, to be fair, but those are the three that come off the, I think, from first. Because Shamrock were the best team for a while, but I think Dundalk are usually in Europe at the moment, aren't they? I think they've played Arsenal a couple of times, is that right? Kamara. Roofe. Is he fouled? Nothing given by the referee. He just looks blank. WATP. What does that mean? We are the people. Right. Okay. I see. Rangers have been the better side so far, but a goal for Celtic would change everything. Particularly if they were to get a goal and go 1-0 up, obviously, that would be very, very important, because it would have Rangers would have to go out and try and get an equaliser and to try and maintain the chances of an unbeaten season in the league. That were the best they. Oh, Awanusi with a shot off the bar. McGregor making a save onto the bar, and they will get it away. Dundalk were the best. They got into Europa League group stage last year, but I don't know what's happened. They've been horrible this year. Shamrock Rovers out of nowhere have pulled a Man City and just bought all the good players. It looks like League of Ireland has become a farmers' league. Oh, that's a shame. Because they play different times, don't they, if I'm not mistaken, Aidan? Don't they play from like March? Is that right? It's a really, really good save from McGregor. El-Wanusi, brilliant strike. And that touched just onto the bar. Perfect save by Alan McGregor. Here is Morelos. If any Rangers fans are in the watching, how good is Morelos? Do you think he is good enough to play for the Champions League side week in, week out? Do you think he's good enough for the Champions League? Obviously, you'll be in the Champions League next year. Is that something you think? Or do you think he's good enough for someone like Wolves? Or obviously, I'm not sure he'd go to Wolves if he was at Rangers. I'm not sure that's a massive move forward. Inconsistent. Aribo cuts it back to Kent, and it's a goal! It comes off Kamar Roofe. And it's a red card. It's a red card as well. So there's a goal and a red card, and I've never had this happen before, so it's not. So Kamar Roofe has scored, and I think Callum McGregor has been sent off for a second bookable offence after the ball has gone in, and it's 2 double jeopardy. 1 goal for Rangers and a sending off for Celtic. It's certainly not 12-0. So he makes a foul on Kamara. Yes, the ball. Kamara, he's fouled. Clear foul. He goes to whistle, but he plays advantage. Kent gets it out wide to Aribo. Aribo cuts it back for Kent, who shoots. It comes to Roofe, who chests it and puts it into the bottom corner, and it is a nightmare. Nightmare. Talk about double jeopardy. McGregor sent off, and a goal for Rangers. It's going to be tough now for Celtic. Wow. Wasn't expecting that. Was not expecting that. Half time in Serie A. Lazio 2-0 to the good against Genoa. Right. I've inconsistent, says Janet. Right. Okie. Absolutely. So you think he is good enough to play in the Champions League? That's interesting. Because he seems a bit of a... I don't know how to describe him. He seems a bit of a Mario Balotelli, if you know what I mean. Like a bit of a live wire. Unpredictable. If that makes sense. I think Edouard is going to West Ham. He's quite useful, isn't he? He's not as good as Dembele, but he looks quite useful. Blades seem to get Scottish players. I think it's just a trait of Chris Wilder, was he seemed to sign a lot of British and Irish players, like Enda Stevens, Fleck, McGoldrick, McBurney, Egan. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of that sort of core is British and Irish players, so it isn't a surprise they have a lot of Scottish players. Wow, says Pinman. Yes, says Tory. Yeah. How do I pronounce your name? Gertin? Let me know. I like to learn how to say people's names, because there's a girl in my English class at college. Chandra Kenny's shot come cross. Well, it was a cross come shot, really, and it's almost evaded the goalkeeper. He did get a touch on it eventually. That could have nestled in. Good save by McGregor. Celtic have been poor game this year. Game over now. It will be hard. What a goal, I must admit. I've never seen a goal like that. Goal! Celtic equalise! Wow, what an entertaining game we are watching. They have got 10 men, but they have just equalised. So the ball comes in, headed on, and then headed in. Edward with the header in. Comes off his shoulder. 1-1. Oh, that's the wrong thing. There we are. 1-1. Cracking start. Right. Dick Advocate is losing, by the way, against The Hague. Right. I didn't realise he still managed. He's got to be getting on. Shame for Scott Brown that it's his last few Old Firms or losses. Won a lot of trophies though, Aidan. Won a lot of trophies. McNulty. Here's Kamar Roof. Shaved. Oh, he doesn't get there, and it will be a free kick. Morelos with a foul there. Yeah, lots of... there is a lot of them. Yeah, Dutch people are weird. Is this cricket? It's turning into a cricket scoreline. Come on. I think you'll pronounce the IG like Bergvine. Right. Get the Edouard. You goat. Love him. Celtic will miss him. It's really entertaining. Really entertaining. I was just thinking, Dembele was such a good signing for Celtic, and I was thinking, that's what they should do. They should sign players from like the higher echelons of the Championship who are good enough for like the Premier League, and try and get them like that. That'd be a great way of. Here's a rebound. Good save by Bein for a corner. But then I realised they signed Pukki, right? Because Pukki was the first one who came to mind because he scored consistently in the Championship. And they had Pukki, didn't he? And he was useless. So, it will be a corner kick to Rangers. They just conceded from a free corner kick, and now they have a chance of their own. Ball comes in. Headed on and away. Goldson's header headed away by Edouard. Puts the ball back in. Barisic headed away again by Celtic. Kamara out wide. Here is Morelos. Morelos' shot. Oh, stunning goal. Fantastic. There is Morelos. What a goal. Brilliant. Yeah, Celtic had Pukki before he went... Certainly before he went to Norwich. I'm not sure when. Absolutely fantastic strike. Kamara gets it out wide to Morelos, who's in the box. Gets the better of Brown. Takes a touch and absolutely slams it into the roof of the net. Brilliant finish. And it's 2-1 to Rangers. Mike got an exemption for my medical condition, but Coach Troopz say I have to wear them for wearing masks. I would speak to whoever you need to speak to about that. If you have an exemption, then they should take that into account. You wouldn't expect someone who couldn't do something to do something. Do you know what I mean? Another one. Wow, a brilliant game so far. Brilliant game so far. It's been absolutely fantastic. Yeah, where were we? Who will win, United or Liverpool? I've gone for a 2-0 win. 2-1 to United. They told me to cover up like a scarf just to get on and off the coach. Yeah, I mean, that's all right, Jack. I mean, I don't know. As long as you can do that. I'm not sure. I have loads of them dotted about. I've got a whole pack over there. So, but I'm not sure because I'm not sure what the rules are on these things. As far as I know, if you have an exemption, then you don't have to wear one. It's like Salah versus Everton. It was a really, really good goal. Really good goal. Roofe. Kamara. Aribo. Is he going to shoot? No. Kent goes out wide. Barisic. Aribo. Kent. Have I played Football Manager, Mike? Yes. I have 2 saves currently. Roofe. Morelos is shot straight at Bein. And we are 10 minutes away from half time. It's been brilliant. I need a cane. I need to see my cane. Hard to see it on the floor. Right, okay. Yeah, I would definitely see what you can do, because that doesn't sound like there's a lot of people who I think really exaggerate what an exemption is, but obviously you do have something that would really prevent you to being able to live semi-normally. So yeah, definitely get in contact. Den Haag have gone 3-1 ahead against Feyenoord, and Lazio are now 2-1 in front. So lots of goals in the opening games in the Eredivisie, in Serie A, and in the Scottish Premiership. Lots of goals indeed. Some good ones as well. It is sad just seeing these stadiums empty. Free kick from Turnbull comes in, headed away by Goldson. Elyounoussi. And here comes Kamara, and he is fouled there. And it's brought back, so it clearly wasn't a foul there, and it was a foul before. What's your best Football Manager game like achievement? What's my best achievement I've done on Football Manager? I'm currently in the Championship with Hereford. Finished 15th 2 consecutive seasons, which is pretty good. If I actually say our champions, because Ten Hag has signed a new deal, hasn't he? There was talk of him going to Spurs, but he's signed a new contract at Ajax. Cross comes in and Bein is equal to it, and he will deal with that. Hereford used to have Jared Bowen, isn't that right? Certainly did, my friend. I saw him score his first professional goal, and I also used to watch him play for the youth team as well. I played Korean on FIFA 21. Similar Football Manager, except from you can't play the players. You just coach them, which sounds pretty boring when analyse it like that. It does sound pretty naff. 3-1 to Lazio now. Luis Alberto with the goal to extend their lead in Serie A. I think it's a corner to Celtic. Edouard winning the corner, and Turnbull will be taken again. Looks pretty useful. I like him. I've got FM for the first time this year because they've added it to Xbox. It's so fun. I've never played it on Xbox, only on the computer, but it is really good. Turnbull's ball in, headed away. Scott Brown gets a touch on it, but only plays it to Ryan Kent. Poor that. Edouard wins the ball back. Very well done. Taylor. Aya? Do you watch Formula 1 sometimes? No. I don't watch Formula 1, but I have been in Lewis Hamilton's restaurant. But I don't watch Formula 1. But I know a lot about Hamilton because we share some similarities. I prefer Premier Manager or old game LMA Manager. Yeah, it's more that sort of thing because on LMA Manager you couldn't play anything. You could only just like spectate, and that's what Football Manager is. Xbox slightly watered down. I think there isn't any press conferences of team talks, but still great. I think it's like a touch version. There's two versions of the main game you get on PC, and one is like a full game. The other's like a light version. But yeah, it's still fun, and certainly in the future I definitely recommend getting it on computer. It is really, really good. Very addictive as well. Though I don't like the sort of summer. I really much prefer like getting into the season, but like in the summer I don't really care. Here's Forest. Poor corner kick. Promotion party delayed by 1 week. That's all it is. Everyone. Jack's in the chat. And Jack's a Bolton supporter, and him and all his cronies were out celebrating when Pierce Sweeney scored in the 96th minute to deny them promotion, and now they have to win or Morecambe are going to get promoted if they win as well. Embarrassing, really, Jack. No, I don't doubt that you... Were you there? I don't know. Foot Manager is on Xbox like having Touch, but they made it slightly better than Touch. That sounds good. It's nice because obviously I'm a big fan of Football Manager, so it's nice to be able to see it going off to a wider audience. Sure, I remember playing Sensible Soccer in Kickoff. I've not heard of Kickoff. Yeah, I'm sure Jack's fast typing away, annoyed at me. I'm sure some of you have noticed that there's no border around Rangers, if you're as weird about stuff like that as I am. I should be live for the next game as well. Turnbull, Edouard, and it's into the hands of McGregor. Yeah, you're going back a little bit too far there, Jeff. I don't know what a spectrum is. What is a spectrum? We're on Sky next week. The whole country will see if we either go up or stay down or go through the playoffs. What time is that, Jack? Is that 3? I think is that 3? Because it's the 8th, isn't it? I've gone way too far. It's not on here yet. 3 PM kickoff. Nice. 48k console in the 80s. Yeah, I wasn't born in the 80s, but it's amazing how far. I'm sure you can appreciate how far like consoles and stuff have come, like from then to now. 3 PM kickoff. Nice. That sounds interesting. Yes, I will be live for the second game as well. League 2 on Sky Sports. I hope Bolton go up. Are they at home or are they away? They're away, aren't they? Is it Crawley or the thing of Crawley? Crawley. Bolton have Crawley. Morecambe are at home to Bradford. It's a big game. Peterborough and Cambridge also gathered outside the stadium to celebrate promotions too early. Yeah, I suppose it's just one of those things that doesn't happen ever before because there's no fans. And it usually there's fans. Edouard, brilliant run and absolutely fantastic tackle. Davis with the tackle there. Brilliant tackle. Violet, thanks so much for hitting the subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. The best game for inspection was Jack Charlton's match fishing. Nice. I used to have a game called, I think it was Sensible Soccer, which I think is what you were talking about. And it had Ronaldo on the front, old Ronaldo. Turnbull's ball in. Punched away by McGregor. Headed away. We'll come back, but there is a foul on Kamara. So not like the team was done. No, Jack, but I don't know any Cambridge fans nor Peterborough fans, so who am I going to do it to? Well, we've all celebrated too early. I'm sure you'll do it next game, though. There's no better feeling than winning promotion in Surrey. Scrolling Surrey? I don't know. I'm starting to doubt myself. Is Crawley in Surrey? Crawley. West Sussex. Oh, wait. It's by... It's more like Brighton area, isn't it? I've had a nightmare. I'm usually quite good with... speaking of celebrating early, once I think... did the thing Ross Barkley when he ran with the goalkeeper but then hit the post. I remember him like going around the goalkeeper and like doing this sort of motion and putting it in. But I don't remember him hitting the post. I've got Sol Campbell from Southend. Oh, nice. That's a good autograph to have. Barisic's ball in, who's I think looks pretty good. It's near Gatwick Airport, I know that much. Yeah, it's in Sussex. It's near Brighton. I don't know why I thought it was down up there. Here is Aribo. Goldson. Simpson. Barisic. And that's half time. Sorry, it might have looked like I was a bit confused there. I was confused because we weren't even in the 45th minute yet, but he's, even though we've had a sending off and 2 goals, no added time, and at the break, 2-1 to Rangers. Ross Barkley put it in, saying, I tried to do the same after rounding the goalkeeper, but I hit the post. Oh, you tried to do the same. Right, that's a nightmare. That sounds like something that was... Yeah, that sounds awful. Just going to be updating my stream for later. Oh, there's Jamie Redknapp. Who's everyone's favourite commentator? I'm sure some of you will not, particularly Rangers fans, it won't be Chris Sutton. He is very much a wind-up merchant, isn't he? I quite like Gary Neville. Even though I didn't like him as a player, and when I say I didn't like him as a player, I loathed him as a player. Quite like him as a pundit. I thought he spoke quite well on the situation with the Super League. However, he does have a... He does have a vested interest in what happens because it might take eyes off the Premier League and therefore his he has an interest in them doing well, particularly because he is commentator. I meant pundit. Sorry, I said the wrong thing. It's rare that they end the first half without stoppage time. It happens more often than it has. I've never seen it happen. I have seen it happen actually in the second half, but it's usually when it's like 8-0. Great, but I don't like it. I don't like it when it's 8-0 and they don't play an extra few minutes. I really don't. I really think they should play as much time as added on. Roy Keane, that's a good shout. Great game so far, much better than I thought it would be. It has been a good game. Prime Martin Tyler. I love Martin Tyler. Love Peter Jory. Love Peter Jory. He is absolutely brilliant. Captures the game beautifully. He's so articulate. He's the most articulate commentator I've ever seen. He's much more articulate than Fletch and Mike Tyler, definitely. Really, he captures it beautifully. He has a way with words. He should be a poet. I like Jamie Carragher. I hope Roy Keane commentates as well. Nice, heated debates. Roy Keane's going, good job, mate. Never seen your show before. John Wilson watching from the Philippines. Very, very, very nice. Nice to know that I am being watched all over the globe. I've never been to the Philippines, but I'll probably go at some point. Is it nice? Let me know, John. Could you imagine Roy Keane commentating whenever Maguire and De Gea are on the ball? Oh, Jesus. That would actually be his commentary all the time. If Roy Keane commentated, he would probably complain about any player smiling on the pitch. I think Roy Keane, as much as I love him, and it's interesting getting that sort of old generational perspective, I don't think he would translate well in the modern age. I think as players they want different things. Alex, thank you so much for tuning in. Alex, hi Mike, long time no see. How are you doing? I'm doing very well, my friend. How are you? Thank you so much for joining the stream. Really appreciate you tuning in. Big game for you. He's a Derby fan, and Derby have probably one of the biggest games of certainly their season, but the last sort of 5 years. Big game against Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, big game. Got to go see Esteemed Kompany. Thank you for tuning in. I've got a thing saying that I've not been doing any standing. I did 3 hours standing in the night. I don't know what I've been doing. I'm fine, thanks. That's good to hear. I'm really glad you're doing okay. Think West Ham will get top 5. No one wants to finish in the top 5. They want to finish in the top 4. I think they will get a Europa League position or a Europa Conference League position. Yeah, so I think they will finish somewhere around there. Fight for survival, promotion or playoffs on the last day is tense, but even more tense when you're a team that could be survival, promotion or playoffs at the expense of you. Yeah, I think even worse is when you get relegated, which I'm sure you've had. Have you had that happen before, Jack? You've been relegated on the final day? But there's no better feeling than surviving on the final day. I've been on the both ends. I have been relegated on the final day and promoted on the final day as well. Honestly, I much prefer getting promoted than not getting promoted. I've never seen ever get promoted. I prefer staying up on the final day and getting relegated on the final day. Getting relegated on the final day was not fun. However, staying up on the final day was a brilliant achievement, particularly because we had to win and results had to go our way, which is like the best feeling. There's no better feeling than that at all. Right, I've just finished doing that. Right, back to the questions. I'm back. Thanks so much, Junior Major. Celtic aren't going to win, doubt it. No, I don't think so. I think it will be a win for Rangers. I'll be disappointed if we don't get Europa League. Hopefully we can hold on and watch my team in Europe for the first time ever. Yes, it would be fantastic to see. Talking about Wednesday game, there's a planned protest outside Pride Park at 12:30. The team bus is going to be stopped entering the ground We Derby fans have suffered enough now. What have you suffered about? I don't understand what you're moaning about here. Please explain. Obviously, I'm not caught up here. I'm a bit confused. My local club, Galway, were relegated on the final day after lost 4-3 to Dundalk. It's the worst thing ever. See, even a big more guts. When Hereford got relegated, they beat Crawley 3-0 away from home, who finished third and got automatically promoted. And then they beat on the final day Torquay 3-2. And we were 3-0 up inside the first 45 minutes, who finished fourth and were in the playoffs. And we still got relegated. Kicking the teeth, man. E.g. Derby versus Sheffield Wednesday. Could you imagine if fans were in Sheffield Wednesday celebrating survival in front of all the Derby fans who have witnessed their team go down? It would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? It's the most unreal scenario. That whoever wins that game stays up. There's no doubt about it. I just hope it's not a draw. I hope one team wins. I hope it really goes down to the wire as well. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a fantastic occasion to see that for sure. Stoke 2-2, Bolton worse. When QPR lost, both their goals would have probably been disallowed under VAR. That's a kick in the teeth. But I suppose there is no VAR, but it's still a kick in the teeth. You know those goals shouldn't have stood. Disappointed in Celtic this season. It's been a big disappointment. The club has treated the fans terribly. We don't have a clue who our owner is. It's Eric Alonso, isn't it? It's Eric Alonso, I think. And no one wanted Rooney in charge for this very reason. 1 win in 14 is a joke. Yeah, agree, that is bad. Rooney won't ask for help as he is selfish. His ego is too big. Interesting. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about the idea that he's selfish. He obviously did well enough to get the job because he didn't have it he had it on an interim basis. Are you concerned about Alonso coming in? Because there seems to be a lot of doubt over his credibility. Hopefully Celtic can bounce back next year. This very poor from the... Yes, they certainly won't be as bad next year, I think. Sort of like a one-off playoff final, which would happen if both teams had exactly equal record. Yeah, it is. It is, but it's more like having a two-legged playoff final and Derby are winning on aggregate, because if they draw they survive, if they win they survive. But if Sheffield Wednesday win, that's it. It's exciting. It's exciting. It's a shame that we don't get this. And I suppose a sort of championship playoff would create this sort of drama, but I don't think that's something we should implement. Hopefully Celtic can get a proper manager, because it's Kennedy in charge at the moment, isn't it, if I'm not mistaken? I don't think Alonso understands how much trouble the club is in. Interesting. It would be... Because I've seen Sheffield Wednesday at League One. They were in League One for ages. I've not seen Derby in League One ever. It'd be interesting to see how they cope. Mike, your Newcastle has iBox in the background. You are a legend, my friend. You're too good to me. I will sort that now. I can personally see Rooney being given the benefit of the doubt regardless of what League Derby are in next season. That's interesting. I think I could also see that. He's a big name. Furthermore, if they have a bad start to the season, right, sacking Wayne Rooney is a big statement from Eric Alonso. It basically says it doesn't matter who you are, if you're not doing very well, we're going to sack you. And I think that would be a big statement of intent. So that might be a good way of doing things. Are you ready? Aye, aye, Captain. His wages would probably be quite high too. That's interesting. Yeah, it would be, but obviously the new man would probably want to show that he's got the funds, because there's nothing worse than somebody being like, oh, I haven't got the funds to fund it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think anyone wants that. It's very important, particularly with new owners, that they show they have money straight away and they know what they're doing. And that is, if that's something Alonso can't do, then it's not good. There seems to be a lot of doubt over him. I listened to his interview on TalkSport and he seemed perfectly fine, but there seems to be a lot of concern about him. Right, okay. Right, that should be better, Major. I need Derby to win Wednesday, Saturday to get them down or draw. Yeah, I mean, I just want it to be exciting. Even if Derby end up winning, I want it to be an exciting game. So maybe Sheffield Wednesday take the lead. I think would be really, really key to a good game in that game. If it's 0-0 and it ends 0-0, it'd be the most boring, anticlimactic thing ever, because there's going to be so many eyes on that game on Saturday. I know people will be attending the protest and will be placing Rainbow's car park with a larger on the outside. He's a big name. I think that's why he will be given slightly more time and slightly more less pressure from the board and less pressure certainly from the media. League One probably has the worst last day, as there's only playoff status at the worst. Yeah, it's always disappointing when that happens, Jack. It is always really disappointing. None of us want. We want it all to play for. We want it all to play for. It's 3-2 to Den Haag in Eredivisie, and Lazio have now gone 4-1 up against Genoa, and the second half will be underway any moment now. Hate the Spurs. I've got 2-1. Please stay the score and then I cash in. Can you not cash out, or will it not let you? I don't think you can cash out for that sort of thing. It's more like accumulators. I don't know. I don't bet. My girlfriend bets quite a lot. She's got a problem with it, I think. There we are. Second half is underway. Same with Championship, but difference is the game's broadcast on TV. It's either one or the other who stays up, not like one team has nothing to play for. I wish League 2 had another playoff relegation spot, but it's so bad there's only 2. Yeah, you couldn't. You don't have to tell me. 2004, my team finished 92 points, 1 point behind Chester. They scored 103 goals, which is the most still by any side, I think, joint with Barry Fry's Barnet a few years before that. And then another example was Wrexham when Fleetwood Town got promoted. I think they finished on 98 points over the 46, which is just an insane amount to not get promoted. And then they lost in... I think it was, I can't remember who got promoted that year. But yeah, they also didn't get promoted, which would have been a massive kick in the teeth. So yeah, it is really bad. I'm not a big fan of it all. Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, over 46 games. One game shouldn't usually. It's quite rare for so many games to be on the line. Usually, most of it's already sorted. But it is nice to have that sort of final day drama. But I'm glad. I'd rather have no fans in and have no drama than have loads of drama and no fans. because we want to see pitch invasions. We want to see the fans going nuts. We don't want to just see nothing. But I'm looking forward to the game next week regardless, but it's a shame there'll be no fans. What's your predictions for Burnley's finishing position next season? Too early to tell, because it's been a takeover, isn't there, Major? So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. I would say, if I had to go on, I think they'd just be fine, about 16th. I support Scunthorpe United as well, but they to get out of the division. They're poor, aren't they? They're really struggling. I think they're like almost out. I'm wondering how harsh playoffs can be. In 2016, Accrington missed out on automatic motion by goal difference and got knocked out in the playoffs. But I suppose that's the tension that makes it past. Yeah, the thing is with playoffs, it's horrible. But if you had to say 4th place goes up automatically and there's no playoffs, no one would agree to that. It's horrible for the teams that don't get promoted, particularly the ones who just miss out on automatic. However, it's exciting. And you know me, I'm a big advocate for the National League way of doing it. I think it should be implemented in the league as well. I think it makes so much more drama. I'm not a big fan anymore of the 2-legged ties because most of them are done by the second leg. I'm not a big fan of them at all. Much prefer the 1 leg and having the 2 extra teams. 10th, I think, hopefully that would be a perfect season. I wish Grimsby stayed up. I was hoping for 2 different sides. It's a shame to see Grimsby's 5-year stay in the Football League come to an end so soon. Southend's coming down. 101 years have been in the Football League. So that's a side I've never seen, and nor have any of us in the chat have ever seen in the non-league. So it'll be interesting to see how they adapt. Got all the players from my friend who works there. Nice, because they were managed by Paul Hurst, who actually got Grimsby relegated in the end. Not sure who's in charge right now. Neil Cox. First team squad. Is there anyone I recognise? I obviously recognise a load of people, but no one who played for Hereford. No, there's not one. Kelsey Mooney played for Hereford, sorry. He's actually been on loan here this season. He signed from Hereford. What am I talking about? Tavernier's ball in, headed away. Davis goes out wide. Barisic's ball in. He really knows how to cross a ball, doesn't he? Right. Southend. Souness, Keane and Richards at Old Trafford. Best front 3 in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of Souness. I like Richards and I certainly like Keane. If you finish 4th on goal difference or even goal scored, you should feel a bitter. But I probably would too if we got knocked down. Then got knocked out. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's just it. It would be a kick in the teeth if you were to finish 4th. But it happens a lot, doesn't it? It's actually it can be quite rare to have the first sort of playoff side to go up. I think you said that to me yesterday. Do Southend have to change their home colours as they play in navy, which clashes with the refs' black? I don't believe that would be fair, but they might have to. I don't know. What do you think of promotion relegation playoffs? They are in Ireland and Germany, I think. I don't like it. And I tell you for why. I just don't like it. I don't like... Oh, good ball! Morelos is offside. I'm just not a big fan of... You have a great season, finish in the playoffs, beat everybody, and then you lose to a team higher, and you can't go up. No, I'm not a big fan of that. I'd definitely rather have. I think it's more fair, and also for entertainment-wise, you want to see different sides get promoted in these leagues. You don't want to see. How annoying would it be if, like, Sunderland always used to stay up under like Poyet and Dick Advocate and Sam, and then they just stay up every year. You know, you want to see different sides. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see Bournemouth come up. I want to see Brentford come up, if that makes sense. So I'm not a big fan of it. I think England used to have them. Teams in the league above would probably have better players too. Yeah, I just think for entertainment value, having this is not for me. Not for me. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad idea in those leagues. I think Scotland might have it as well. Furthermore, it takes away one place for the playoffs. Like I say, I would have the top 2 qualify for the semi-final of the playoffs, and then the next 4 go into a playoff as well, like they have in the National League. I don't think that's a bad idea. It adds more drama. It gives more teams something to play for. Good ball, good work from Ryan Kent. Roofe over the bar. That would add some drama and some value for sure. The team in the league above would probably have better players too. Yep, definitely. 100% I agree. It's so annoying there's only one automatic relegation spot in Ireland. There's promotion/relegation spots. Yeah, it would be really irritating. There'll be a lot of times, like if you did like a survey over sort of 50 years, where a lot of it would be the same league constantly. Particularly if there was a golf of class, which I think there is between the Championship and the Premier League, where you'd have almost the same sides every year. So yeah, not for me. Relegation playoff would be fairer, I think, if it was the same teams in the league that were playing each other. The Paramount, it was 17th versus 18th. No, I think a relegation playoff, what he means is the winners of the playoffs and the Championship would play the team who finishes in the relegation playoff position. So potentially you'd have 2 teams coming up instead of 3, which I'm not a big fan of really. And that's not for me. It's not something that I would think is something for me. Here is Morelos looking for Tavernier, who was in today's thumbnail but could not find it. El-Wanusi, Edouard, blocked by Connor Goldson. Turnbull. In Ireland, 10th gets relegated and 9th gets a playoff to qualify to play 9th, 2nd versus 5th. Play each other in a playoff to play 9th. Turnbull almost scores. Could have been 2-2 there. The ball comes in from Forrest. Turnbull header really poor. Should get a better contact on there and should be making it 2-2. Great chance for Celtic, not taken. Yeah, I just not for me. I'm sure if you're used to it, it makes sense, but I'd rather see advantage to the sides that are playing well rather than advantage to the sides that are poor. I suppose you got a better quality then. In that case, you'd have a better side stay up. It's not for me, though. Not for me. 4-3 now, Lazio Genoa. It's a good game over there. Many more goals than this, but it still is chances for more goals. So the game's later, miles behind, miles in front. So there's games later. The game next is Newcastle United versus Arsenal, which I will be streaming after this game finishes. And then Manchester United versus Liverpool is a big one at 4:30 on Sunday afternoon. And then Sunday evening, Tottenham Hotspur versus Sheffield United, kicking off at 7:15. 3rd of May, there is another 2 games. West Brom versus Wolves in the Black Country Derby. at 6 o'clock, and Burnley versus West Ham on at 8:15. So plenty of football. Oh! Rufus just made it 3-1. And I think that might be that. Great leaping header, and has made it 3-1. And that might be that. That will surely be that. Kent to Roofe. And Roofe puts it out wide. He makes a brilliant run. They take a touch. Puts the ball in. No one picks him up. Absolutely fantastic by Kamara Roofe. And it's 3-1. And I think it will be extremely difficult for Celtic to stop an unbeaten season for Rangers. Next Spurs manager. I really don't know. Because a lot of them seems to be ruling out. Here we are. Ryan Mason is obviously the current one. Brendan Rodgers is favourite. Scott Parker doesn't seem to be. Ralph Rangnick, is that who they want? Graham Potter doesn't really spring to mind. Ten Hag signed a new contract. Lopetegui, would they go with him? He's done alright at Sevilla. Maurizio Sarri seems to be going to Roma. What they've done is they've sacked and had no plan. They have absolutely no plan. Maybe they're waiting until the end of the season and hoping there's some moves. Some people go somewhere else and it opens up someone for them. There will be changes here for Celtic coming up. Top 3 is Howe, Martinez and Sarri. Sarri will probably be the best of the 3. Us being away at home last day might not be the worst thing, as we generally found it harder this season at home than away from home. That's, I suppose, whatever advantage you need. So, how do you want someone that's relegated? Martinez, would he leave Belgium? Maybe after the Euros, if things were to go south for Belgium, so there is a chance there. Sarri, would you want Sarri? Probably. He's plays a nice style of football. Maybe he would be a good move. Certainly would be a different sort of player. Here comes Forrest, and I think so Brown is off for Sorrow, and Forrest is off for Ryan Christie. Can't be bothered to cheer on Celtic. It's an embarrassment. Interesting. That's Rangers going unbeaten for the rest of the season now. I'm not sure who they have coming up, but it will certainly be difficult from here to see anything other than an unbeaten season, which is absolutely brilliant for Steven Gerrard. That's Rangers going unbeaten now. Sarri the best out of 3 of them. Yeah, Sarri's the best out of the three of them, but it's hard because if you appoint someone like Potter or Howe, you're sort of gambling that they're better than how they've performed in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Sarri is experienced. He's won trophies. He'll play a nice brand of football. I wouldn't mind Sarri, I don't think. Eddie Howe to Celtic. I think that would be quite a wise move by Celtic. I'd be interested to see maybe... I thought Lampard might be a good call as well, but I'm not sure. I think Eddie Howe would be a good move. Certainly someone who could rejuvenate the place. But the one thing I would say is Eddie Howe spent a lot of money on crap while he was at Bournemouth, like Jordan Ibe and Solanke. So I would certainly have some sort of plan for the signings and stuff. I would certainly have a plan for that. But as a Spurs fan, I would want Howe. I think he's a really good manager, to be fair. Martinez is solid, and Sarri has experience in London. Yeah, they all have upsides, I guess. But I think Tottenham should get Nuno Espirito Santo from Wolves. I think his style suits Tottenham. But none of them are the calibre of Pochettino, which obviously he moved. They got from lower down. He built his reputation there. But Mourinho is such a big name, and to go from that to Eddie Howe just seems crazy. Here's Morelos. Can he make it 4? Shot straight at Bein, and it's out for a corner to Rangers. I'm surprised to see Sarri manage Spurs, especially when he used to manage Chelsea. Well, he did manage Napoli and he managed Juventus, but he is linked with a Roma job, so he might be taken by them. Mourinho to Celtic. I don't think that'll ever happen. We're keen to start World War III in Glasgow. Shame. It could be anyone. It could be anyone. Could be anyone. I would like to see, I think out of the people named, just for entertainment value, I'd like to see Sarri. However, I'd like to see someone like Potter or Howe have a go. If I was a Tottenham fan, I'd want Brendan Rodgers. However, it does seem like he has ruled himself out of the running for that. We'll get the best out of Matt Doherty, who is a right wing back, not a right back. That's true, definitely. That is definitely true. Potter is a great manager. He's done well, hasn't he? He did well at Ostersund's. He did well at Swansea, and he's played some nice football at Brighton. It just hasn't come off really. They've been struggling to score goals and things. But could he? And today, if they didn't take Potter and then someone else did, and he did really well, they'd feel a bit foolish. That's something they need to consider. Den Haag have won 3-2 against Feyenoord. Yeah, I think I'd like to see Sarri just because he plays nice football. Nigel Pierce, thanks so much for tuning in. How you doing? Disappointing result for you yesterday, Nigel. I never knew Den Haag stood for The Hague. I'm so stupid. I never knew that. It will be Tavernier to take a corner for Rangers. In it comes. Headed away. Kamara. Morelos. Roofe shot. Aribo. And it will be another corner. Aston Villa women and West Ham women are drawing 0-0 at the break in that one. What do we all think of the blackout? Do you reckon that's going to be any use? The social media stop for the weekend? I hope it causes some sort of impact, but I'm not sure it will. It's hard. I think the people who need to do something about it are not involved. Kent. Hopefully it does, but I just think it could be tough. Just because, you know, you want harsher bans, harsher punishments, you know, and it certainly make people think twice, because I go on, not that I ever abuse anyone on social media, as you all know, I would never do that. But I go and I want to see the reaction of Cambridge fans as they lose 5-4, and I couldn't because Cambridge haven't tweeted about it. And I want to, do you know what I mean? That's like my go-to. If something happens, I go to the club's official Twitter and look at the replies. But I couldn't do that, and that's obviously it's for a good cause, but that would annoy me. So I hope people are put off and don't just. Obviously, that's not a reason to not do it. The reason should be you don't want to, be discriminatory towards anyone. Kent. I heard Karen Carney talking about it, and it seemed quite upsetting, and it was quite distressing to hear how she was feeling after it all kicked off with Leeds. Of course, racism needs to be kicked out, but I hate this blackout. Can't see any goals or fan celebrations. It's only for a weekend though, isn't it? And if it does good, then it helps. It is not. It is for a really good cause. I'm nervous for today, not confident versus Man United, but winning will make my weekend. And week ahead, losing ruins. I just want to beat them so much. Absolutely hate them to death. I think it's not. I don't think you need to win because it's Man United. I think you need to win to stay, 34, and you're 8 points behind, and then 9 points. Sorry, 7 points and 9 points behind. 7 points behind. Yeah, 7 points behind Chelsea and 9 points behind Leicester. It could be very difficult. So I think you need to get that win just for this. Definitely, I think you need to win to keep pace. It's a very, very important game for. We're talking about City winning the league, but it's really vital that that Liverpool win to keep going, because they don't want to finish outside the top 4. I feel it feels weird that with the boycott, that the only reason we found we were on Sky next week is someone going on the club website, unlike the club announced it on social media. Here's Edouard. Edouard's shot is just wide, and it will be a corner. It is a really weird way. Everyone finds their information off social media. I don't think anyone goes sort of any other way. Besides my news, I get off. I check the Hereford sites, but I don't go on like BBC Sport or Sky Sports. Really, I have a Sky Sports and Sky News app, so I get my news from there as well. Ball in. Morelos with the header behind for a corner kick. Again, has it been a close game or has it been all Rangers? Well, Rangers took the lead through Roofe, and then in the same sort of play, the ref brought it back after the goal had scored and sent off McGregor. A few minutes later, they equalised through Edouard, and then Morelos scored a few minutes after that as well to make it 2-1. Kamal Roofe made it 3-1 after, just before the hour mark, and it's been pretty boring since then, to be fair. First half was really entertaining, but since that third goal has gone in for Rangers, it's been very, very difficult for Celtic, and the chances they have created, they haven't taken. I don't want to see any hugging nonsense before the game. Don't look at them. Don't talk to them. I think that is certainly the aspect that someone like Trent Alexander-Arnold would take more than someone like Salah. However, what you need to understand is, do you have anyone that's you're friends with that's a Man United fan, or like a family member that's a Man United fan? At the end of the day, if your friend supports Barrow, or Jack's friend supports Wigan, or my friend supports Shrewsbury, which I have plenty of people I speak to that are Shrewsbury fans, which are the rivals of Hereford, I still chat to them, and when I see them, I talk to them and stuff. I think it's a normal thing, because these people play with each other. In England, for example, Maguire, Shaw, and people like Henderson and Trent would all know each other from England. So I think it's normal to be able to say hello to your friends, and like we're not as the rivalry is certainly dying. I think game's fallen asleep. I had Rangers ex-manager's autograph. Which one was that? Was that Graham Murty? He was in charge before, wasn't he? Was he in charge before? Do actually... Oh, message. I went on Derby Day. Yeah, I mean, but they're not as... Sometimes you got to think it is just a job to these people. Davis's ball in is very poor, and it will be a goal kick. 20 minutes left. please feel free to join me for the second game. Roy Keane is mad at you for saying that. Yeah, well, Roy Keane is an old out-touch man, and I'm 25 now. So, yeah, I was about to say 21, but yeah, it's definitely, I think, rivalries. Besides, it is not dying out, but it's becoming less, I feel, than it was. But with this rivalry, we'll probably see a lot of abuse after, regardless of which way it goes. Friends who are rival fans who are just like you, who love the sport, you'll wind them up if you win, and vice versa. But if you lose, but it's all part of the sport. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think some people do take it a little bit too literal. Like, there's no better feeling, because obviously, Jack, you probably understand this a little bit more now in the last few years. When you are in the sort of, there's no better feeling than finding someone who supports even a team that you don't like in your area, that's in the same sort of league as you. You have so much to bond over. But if I start having a chat with someone who supports Everton, obviously I know so much about the Premier League and I have this channel, I would not have as much in common with them. Do you know what I mean? End of the day, I might have something in common with the Everton fan. The Everton fan might not have anything in common with Hereford or Bolton or Carlisle or Leyton Orient or whoever. So that makes sense. I want to see crunching, tackles flying. I want blood to boil. Unfortunately, don't see that happen. No, you don't see that anymore. But I think one of the reasons might be is because of how the way the game's sort of going with, like, Vinnie Jones, and you look at some of the tackles he's put in, you just think that's just not allowed anymore. But that's his job. If you lose, there will always be a day where you get revenge, even if it happens years later or decades. Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure you've had this particularly in the last few years. Like, why do you support so and so? It's like, well, you have no idea what it's like to support a lower league team. You have no idea what it's like. When it actually matters to people if you win or not. At the end of the day, if as much as I like City, if City win or lose, it doesn't really impact my life too much. But sometimes Hereford have to win for reasons more than we can speak about. Like they need the money to pay a bill, like the HMRC or something like that. I've had before. That will never happen to Man United or to Liverpool or Chelsea. Soon as Keane and Richards in the studio today. Yeah, someone said that. I quite like Keane and Richards. I always like to see them too, because they're total opposites, aren't they? They are chalk and cheese. Mike, there's teams are classed as a bubble if you can do a fist bump tap to greet them. Do it, can't see a cuddle problem. You still touching? Yeah, I think the thing is why there's so much sort of touching between the opposition players is because they are tested twice a week, 3 times a week, which is very, very good. The Premier League have been on top of that, and I think we had no cases, which is absolutely sublime. People have a go at me for supporting 2 teams. I always get sick of repeating myself. Liverpool's in my family, Carlisle's where I was born. If you could only support one though, Chris, which one would you support? Just over 10 years ago, I was going to my first Bolton game. I've since experienced 4 relegations, 1 promotion, 1 season missing out on playoffs at last minute goal and difference. That is entertaining. I don't know what is. No, exactly. I can't. They have no idea, like what it's like supporting a team that don't win. I've watched Hereford go about 3 months without scoring a goal in League Two once. They have no idea how fun that is. Barisic is down. He's had a really, really good game. Looks like they're calling for the stretcher. So that's really disappointing end to his game, for sure. Gerrard doesn't look too pleased. He was aged in the last few years. Carlisle easy. Yeah, exactly. But I reckon if you talk to a certain ilk of a fan who does support two teams, right, you'd always have the lower league side first. None of you would ever have the other way around. Franz told me that they test a lot for training. Yeah, they test, I think, twice or 3 times. I think it's twice, just to make sure there's nothing, which is really, really good. Keeping on top of it. It's very, very important to stop it at the source. And I think one thing, the government have had an awful pandemic. They have handled it very, very terribly. However, the testing they do in schools, colleges, universities, and certain workplaces, and now you can just order them yourself as well, has been a difference in this. It being very, very much subdued in this. At the end of the 3rd wave, then it kicking off again at the start of the 2nd wave when kids went back to school. I do support Blades first and Scunthorpe second. I don't think you support them as much. I don't like how many times you go to Scunthorpe on the regular. Do you know what I mean? I think maybe it's just a way of like focusing on how much you go to see that one particular side. Like I go to Hereford every week, so I'm gonna have a. I've seen Liverpool had success on Hereford. They have Carlisle could still have potential to get success, and they have the chance to get relegated, demoted, anything. Are you still going? Brilliant run! Oh, I've been to more Carlisle guys than Liverpool. Yeah, that's probably it, isn't it? The testing could be the reason why we're apparently on track for social distancing end on 21st of June. Yeah, I would say so, because we're doing very, very well and it doesn't seem to be growing too much. You'd expect it to have grown because it has grown a little bit. We are having more cases a little bit. Sometimes we have a few more, sometimes we have less. But considering shops are open, pubs and restaurants are open for outside dining. And then we have schools back, colleges back, unis back, and retail back as well. Kent's strike is straight at the goalkeeper. It's incredible that we've not witnessed a big rise, I think. Cases are inevitably going to rise the more lockdown starts to ease. It's just a case of how quickly we can get the second jabs in, I think, and once the first jabs rather, into that, because once everyone has a little bit of protection, then we'll be good to go. Still waiting for my dose. I'm quite young, so. Blades player gone there, more of player history. We've only got 10 minutes left. I need to Blades for the Blades with Johnny Egan. Playing in Europe next season. He's Sander Burge. So we'll be on later. I'm still waiting for my vaccine. You're younger than me though, Chris. It'll be a while for you. Players gone there. More of history. Player history. Lockdown being eased does help with all over 50s being offered or haven't taken a jab. Yeah, it's down to 40s now. We're 40s. El Wanusi has a chance there, but can't take it. They have Premier League champions on their sleeve, but they're not champions anymore. I've never been tested because I've always been alright. I've been tested. I've done 2, I think, or 3 PCR tests, and I've done several lateral flow tests, including one the other night because I had a cough. But I've always tested negative. However, in the southwest, it has been very, very low compared to the rest of the country. Like in places like Bolton, and it's no offence, Jack, and Manchester and Liverpool and northeast as well. It's been really bad, and then that sort of the Kent variant as well. I mean, over there, it was a nightmare, but we've been okay. Yeah, they are testing twice a week. At college, I went for tests, and then they were like, "Oh, we'll send you one home once you're done." And I've not been sent a home one, but I'm only in college once a week, so it's not a big deal really. I think most of the people in my class has been vaccinated as well. Waiting for my second jab. That's great to hear, Jeff. My grand's fully vaccinated. I've never been tested. You live in Ireland though, don't you? So it's slightly different for you. But there has been a big lockdown, hasn't there, in Ireland, because you had a bit of the Kent variant. America has done over 1 million, 100 million vaccinated. Anyone over 16 can get vaccinated. It's crazy. Yeah, they are pulling the Biden's come in and they're hitting them for 6, aren't they? What I don't understand is why we need to wear masks in class when everyone is negative, because there's always a chance that they're not 100% effective, 100% reliable. Apparently Liverpool could play back 3 with next season with Konate signing. I don't see Klopp changing the system. I did see that actually on your Twitter. I'm not a big fan of him changing the way they play, but maybe that's the way of adapting to try and beat this new City team with the amazing defence they have. City are going to sign another striker, aren't they? Will it be Haaland? Will it be Kane? Will it be someone else? They are going to sign someone. Who will it be? I don't know. However, I think it will be interesting to see who they sign, because they clearly have a plan to get rid of someone like Aguero. If there was no plan, they wouldn't be getting rid of Aguero. I could see Trent being even more effective as a win-back. Yes, definitely. Particularly with that third centre-back being able to come over and cuddle. I think a back 3 would suit Liverpool. Interesting. Liverpool after Berger. I think Liverpool's weakest in midfield. Klopp hasn't changed his system in his career. He's always stuck with 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. It suits the way he plays, doesn't it? But I don't know. I don't know what he'll do. I really don't know what he'll do, but I'm sure he has a plan. I'm sure he always has a plan. Five added minutes to go. It's going to end soon. It's been an exciting game. There's been a goal Arsenal women against Everton women, 1-0, and Ajax have taken the lead, and I was reliably informed they will win the league today if they win. Klopp hasn't changed, saying that Tuchel played a 4-3-3 at PSG and look at him 3 at the back with wing-backs. Yeah, but that's what clearly suits Chelsea. That's what Conte did. They won the league. Then they went away from it with Sarri, away from it with Lampard, and they've gone back to it under Tuchel, and now they're flying again. I think they could be a danger to challenge City for the title next year, Chelsea. I'm not sure what anyone else thinks on it. Mike Blades girls won Doncaster Bells in final at their ground. That's good. Not sure they're called the Blades girls though. It seems a bit bizarre. Donny Bells are definitely called Doncaster Bells though, aren't they? I just see Klopp sticking to his ways. Yeah, and he always has the option. Having said that, it's very rare Pep changes the way he plays. He usually goes 4-3-3. or 4-2-3-1. But they always do. Chelsea are capable. Tuchel is a good manager. He is. He has been very, very impressive. I wasn't expecting a lot from him. I thought he might struggle, but he's been almost perfect, really. He's done what was asked of him. The team just needs freshening up in areas. There's a lot of places they could improve, I think. Do you think he'll get rid of Firmino, or do you reckon he will stick with him? You'll probably keep him. I think so as well. My friend coaches the age 9 from Fans FC. That's nice. Can be hard to change systems. Was using 3-5-2 at Barrow. Obviously, nowhere near as long as Pep and Klopp. And tried at Bolton and was leaky defensively at Bolton until he changed to a 4-2-3-1. It's very rare that you do see 3 at the back in the sort of lower leagues and non-league. It's not like a done thing. It's more 4-4-2, 4-4-3, 4-2-3-1. It's very rare 3 at the back. And it works usually for those sides that play it, but it's not something commonly done. I see Marnie leaving first out of our front 3. Why? He's obviously not had the greatest season, but he was doing exercise on Match of the Day, which I was on. Yeah, he did mention that you were on Match of the Day. Looks like Kennedy won't be the man leading the charge next season for Celtic. It certainly would be a poor move, I believe, to add him in and have him as permanent manager. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. So just having a look at the stats in this second half. No shots on target for Celtic in this second half. I didn't think there'd be any. Johnson. I think Firmino will be here for a while yet, same as Salah. Salah has just been an unbelievable signing. What was it, 32 million? 34 million? Something like that? Absolutely ridiculous amount of money to spend on someone so brilliant. Premier League 31, most used systems are 4-4-3, 4-2-3-1, along with maybe a 3 at the back. But back in 2010, most teams use 4-4-2. Yeah, definitely. But I think that could be. I always think of 3-5-2 as being I think Hereford played it in 2004, but I always associate it more with Kamara. And Morelos is offside, but he puts it wide anyway. With more like a continental way of playing football. Because usually in like places like Italy, they want to be very, very solid at the back. And I think that's what the third defender sort of guarantees. I think Salah wants a new contract personally. He is very, very good. And I think at some point, one of the big boys from Spain will come calling for him. I seems perfectly happy here, doesn't he? In England, he seems well into the culture and stuff. Here's Kent. Aribo cuts it back and away by Aya. That was Wilder's formation, 3-5-2. Yeah, he did play 3-5-2 because he had George Baldock or Sam Baldock, whichever Baldock it was, and Ender Stevens, didn't they? They were the two. It did work well for them. Be interesting to see how Fergie would have adapted from the partnership up front of Van Persie and Rooney. Here's Defoe. Defoe does well. Defoe! Goal! Jermaine Defoe. 4-1. Game, set, match. And potentially the unbeaten record continues and will certainly have a massive opportunity to go the whole season unbeaten. Amazing, amazing achievement by Steven Gerrard. And they only have 3 games to go now. And they have done well against this Celtic team who are down to 10 men. Pain. Salah more happy than Mane at the moment. Yeah. Gerrard delighted. That will be that. That will be that. And I need to change the... There we are. 4 goals to the good. Jermaine Defoe. And then in a minute I will be coming off. I will be live in about 5 minutes time for the Arsenal game. So feel free to watch that if you are interested in a game of that magnitude. Basham, O'Connell centre back, Stevens and Baldock left back and right back. Yeah, very, very good. Basham used to... Right, is that it? No. There we are, full time. Thanks so much for everyone who's tuned in. I really, really do appreciate it. I will be live in a minute. I just need to go and get a drink and go to the toilet and stuff. So I will be back live in a few minutes. Thanks so much for everyone who's tuned in. I really, really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Thank you for watching. See you in a moment. My name is Mike and I will see you